You already had a lot of the classes on nutritional hygiene, and from one another side, you discuss with the teachers different nutritional diseases. This time I want to talk about the food poisonings. But before starting to talk about the food poisonings, I want to give you general definition and classification of nutritional diseases. Nutritional diseases, it's very simple. It's diseases caused by violation of nutrition, foundations of the rational nutrition. Which requirements for the rational nutrition do we have? We have requirements for the quantity, quality, digestion, safety. So violation all these requirements, they cause in some diseases. For example, if we have violation of amount, quantity, insufficiency or excess, we have the corresponding problem: starvation, overeating, obesity, hypervitaminosis, hypomicrohematosis. If we have deviation of regimen of nutrition, digestivity of the food products, we have different secondary diseases like gastritis, colitis, and others. In case of deviation of all requirements, most of the requirements, including some hereditary predisposition, other factors, we have multifactorial disease like atherosclerosis, hypertension, and other. Our food poisons, they belongs to the group 4. It's nutritional factors of transmission of infectional disease, parasitic disease, and different intoxications, poisonings, etc. So it's very big group of different diseases. And the last one, 5th group, it's food intolerance. We have or allergy or just intolerance without allergic component. Only some types of food like impossibility to eat milk product because lactose sensitivity, gluten sensitivity, and other diseases. So what is the food poisonings? Want to pay attention on definition, please be attentive. When you will remember one definition food poisoning, you could make from this from this definition for any type, for toxic infection, toxicosis, everything. But be attentive, it's acute, rarely chronic, obligatory, non-contagious, it's not transmitting from one person to another. Disease arising from consumption of food. Not just it's caused by microbes, toxins, or something. No, by consumption of food, which contains microbes, their toxin, non-microbial toxins, and this situation causing the health problems. Basically, we have 3 groups of the food poisoning: microbial, non-microbial, and non-being classified. Microbial, toxic infections, toxicosis. Toxic infections caused by the pathogens, but it's not infections. Be attentive, infections always contagious. So it's toxic infection caused by the semi-pathogens or bacteria which even normally live in our body, like Escherichia coli, Proteus, Staphylococcus, and other. Toxicosis, they caused by eating food with toxins. Bacteria or fungus could be absent already in the food, but present toxin, bacterial toxin or fungal toxin. Non-microbial, or plant, or animal, or by some additives in food. And both an animal and plant, they could be poisonous by origin, initially, or be poisonous in some conditions. And special separate group, it's poisoning by mushrooms. Non-being classified, it's Uri and Huff disease. We know some reasons, but they not studied well to tell accurately which type of food poisonings it is. What is not food poisoning? Alcohol. Also have symptoms of the food poisoning, but not food poisoning because alcohol, it's not the rational nutrition product. Poisoning by products addition which you intake, like for murder or suicide. If you mistakenly, accidentally eat something like paper, plastic, also it's not food poisoning. If you eat unripe fruits because of your individual reaction on food, toxemia of pregnancy, allergic reactions, they all have symptoms the same like food poisons, but they are not food poisoning. And I want to pay special your attention for intestinal infections. Sometimes you could tell that food poisoning is infection, or even in some books you could find. It's huge mistake, and even in the international disease classification, food poisoning it's not infections. What are the criteria of infection? You must have a specific pathogen. It's first. All infection have specific pathogen. For example, anthrax, specific pathogen, then tuberculosis, specific pathogen. But for food poisonings, it could be semi-pathogens. They are not pathogen, they're semi-pathogen. And we have mixed. It's not one microbe, it's a lot of the microbes. And if it's toxicosis, it's even absence of the microbe, no microbe. Then these microbes, they are very, very active. Their virulency very high. Even sometimes 1-2 microbes could cause disease. For food poisoning, massively contaminated. So a lot of the microbes should be. Then infection, next criteria of infection, it's contagiosity. Infection transmitted from one person to another, from animals to human, animal to animal, human to human, always contagious. Food poisoning, never. Person have disease because of the eating of the food, not because of the contact with other people. And the last one, formation of the immunity. If it's infection, will be immunity. It could be short immunity, weak immunity, 1 hour immunity, but immunity. For food poisonings, we don't have any immune reactions. So we have toxic infection, the same definition as the food poisonings, but it's just acute and it's microorganism presence in the food. The main for food poisonings, fever, because anyway, even it's semi-pathogen, will be fever because it's microbe organism reacting of microbe. And predomination of intestinal symptoms like diarrhea, like vomiting, dehydration, and food poisonings, they have very short incubation period. Sometimes you still eating this food, which will be the reason of the poisoning, and already have some symptom like nausea or something.